Winter is coming, and some punches get thrown. Sons of the Harpy. I gotta be honest, I'm a little bit annoyed with this episode because on the one hand, I said before that I needed some things to start happening, and some things do happen in as far as we get a couple of action scenes, a couple of good ones, and some characters that I like get chances to be pretty badass. I still don't feel like anything major really happened. I mean, it was more active, and that was nice, but it felt like superficial action. It was there to punch it up and make it more exciting, but it didn't actually mean a heck of a lot. I mean, not to say that this episode is meaningless, but I do feel that fundamentally at its core, it's still just very slowly getting to stuff that actually will have more impact. But what do we have going on? We have Ser Jorah, known in some circles as Sir Friendzone, comes on back for the first time since Khaleesi kicked him out, and I'm a little bit torn on his reappearance. I'm glad he's back. I like him as a character, but there's a certain disconnect between what, at least I understand it is, that he wants to have happen and what his actions actually are, because I don't see the inherent connection between what he's doing and what he thinks it's going to accomplish. We get a bit more going on with the Sparrows in King's Landing, and I'm still loving the High Sparrow. I really like the feel of him and just the sincerity of the character. I really do enjoy. That said, I feel like, and this is gonna sound like an odd complaint given that I just said about things moving too slowly, I feel like the Sparrows have sort of gotten where I figured they were going a little too quickly, in that I compare sort of what that group was the last episode and where they've suddenly jumped to this episode, and I feel like I missed a middle step somewhere. Over in Meereen, we get a bit more with Daenerys, but really in Meereen, we're dealing much more with the titular Sons of the Harpy, which is kind of the little internal uprising that I had talked about before. And while it's not uninteresting, I'm not in love with it, largely because it results in the feel of what's going on in Meereen being very similar to the feel of what's going on in King's Landing. And I don't like, in a story this big with this many storylines, that two of the major ones are feeling very similar. Over in Dorne, we get our introduction to the Sand Snakes, which are the offspring of Oberyn Martell. And they have a cool little intro scene. They don't do much. They're really just only introduced, and I'm hoping that they will inject a little life, or at least start throwing other people's plans out of whack, which seems to be the vibe I'm getting off of them. We have Braun and Jamie. Now, I for whatever reason, I felt like saying that Braun was paired off with Jamie Lannister, you know, sort of as a duo, was some kind of spoiler. It's not really. Just saying that they're working together and they got paired off. They're a really good pairing, and Braun has a rapport with Jamie, not dissimilar to what he had with Tyrion. Obviously, Jamie and Tyrion are different characters, but Braun is still bringing that same brash, upfront, honest rogue routine that I always loved, and it works with Jamie as well as it did with Tyrion. So they have some really good stuff, but I think, without a doubt, the best scene in this episode for me is actually between Stannis and his daughter, and it's not a scene that really has much to do with anything. It's kind of superfluous, and I'm surprised it's in there. But I love that it is, because it's just a really wonderful scene, and it shows us a side to Stannis that we haven't seen before. And it deepened him as a character, and it just gave me more reason to like his daughter, who I kind of liked anyway, maybe if for no other reason than I hate his wife, and his wife doesn't like the daughter, so that kind of put me on her side right off the bat. But it's a really nice scene, and I think it was probably the highlight of the episode for me. I don't really have much more to say about this episode. Like I said, there's more going on in terms of kind of whiz-bang, ooh, flash, exciting, yay, but I look at the substance of it and I feel like we're not getting things moving forward any faster than we were the last few episodes, and it's starting to wear on me a little bit. I'm getting that same kind of fatigue I got in season 3, but I am starting to get a little bit frustrated with the show at this point. I'm not going to say mad, because I can still sort of see on the horizon all this stuff that's going to happen and really start impacting things, but I'm like, can we just you've got so many storylines, can just one of them start really steaming ahead with a bit more force? Just one. So I guess I'll ask this, of the various storylines that we've got going on in terms of Jamie and Braun, Tyrion and Varys, Ser Jorah's new agenda, Stannis, Arya, Sansa, who actually has some nice moments in this episode as well. Of all these storylines that are going on right now, what is the one that you are most interested to see the next step in? Whatever one it is, drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Until next time, this council is adjourned.
you.